Jeremiah is growing up like a normal child. I know he's not such a normal child in the sense of the nutrition and the eating, but he's just partaking in anything like any other child.
Remember, change your feet. Go, go, quick, Jeremiah, quick, go hard. Quick. JJ, move.
Sometimes I think about it and I get a little bit emotional because I knew what could have been and I know what it's now. And I see him and it just, I couldn't imagine taking a different route.
Breathe, relax, you're too tense.
¿Lo tienes? Ya. Oye, está pesadito, ¿eh?
Hey, little buddy, it's me.
I'm about to cry.
Mira qué hermosura, qué preciosidad.
Pero ahorita, tanto que va a cambiar.
Ándale.
You think of having your beautiful baby and then 6 months later they tell you he has cancer. It's very tough. It's very tough.
You don't know how long you got left to live. You don't know how much pain you're going to be in.
I get really scared, but I always pretend that you'll be okay.
They don't get rid of your cancer. It kills some of it off, but it doesn't kill it all off.
There's nothing that they know that works for this case.
I know that there are other ways of curing cancer and even preventing it.
It's a big world we live in. It's not just the United States. There's options all throughout the world, and you have to explore your options.
I was determined to find something different. If it was out there, I was going to find it.
There is new and promising research out tonight in the war against cancer.
Interleukin-2 Herceptin interferon. This is a milestone, a breakthrough.
Time and time again over the last century, the cure for cancer has appeared to be just around the corner, almost within our reach. Dozens of new drugs and treatments have been introduced with much fanfare, each initially hailed as the major breakthrough that could win the war on cancer. Yet few have produced truly game-changing results. For the majority of common cancer types, progress has been modest.
We are not winning the war against cancer. Since Nixon declared war many eons ago, cancer's escalating.
1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men can expect to get cancer in their lifetimes. Since the 1950s, cancer rates in the US have not only risen, but increased threefold.
We're seeing a very rapid increase in the numbers of cancers worldwide.
With developing countries increasingly adopting Western lifestyles, an alarming upward trend in cancer rates is now being observed globally.
It's no use saying that the reason is that everybody lives longer and therefore cancer develops. That's rubbish. We have hospices for children with cancer. We have hospices for teenagers with cancer, please.
Cancer is now the second leading cause of death in children after accidents. Despite the best efforts of generations of dedicated doctors and scientists, the sobering reality is that as a whole, cancer survival has barely improved since the 1930s. Which begs the question, could it be that we've been overlooking something fundamental in our fight against cancer? Are we absolutely certain that no stone has been left unturned in the quest for a cure? This film follows the stories of 6 cancer patients who set out to find a radically different approach.
I'm a massage therapist and a yoga teacher, and I own a health food store. I haven't lived in England for 20 years now. I've been able to do things here that I don't think I would have been able to do in England. Okay. And they come to a yoga class on Friday at 9 o'clock.
I came here because my ex-husband bought a medical practice here, and he's from Mississippi. Yazoo City is known for blues music and for the chemical plant that makes fertilizers. I know families whose almost their entire family have been wiped out in the last few years with cancer here. It's just one person after the other.
Going for an MRI this morning as well, and I'm a little apprehensive about that.
Take a breath and hold it, but I'll tell you when to do it. You don't breathe, hold it. Have you had a mastectomy? No, okay.
I was a transport driver for over 30 years, so my bad habits caught up with me. They told me that I had stage 4 and that it had metastasized into the bone. Each time that you talk to them, they lower your percentage of survival. Every time. First time it's 80%, then it's 60%, then it was down to 30%. They didn't give me much time.
He's got 3 areas where it's in. It's subcutaneous panniculitis T-cell-like lymphoma, and that type of lymphoma is very rare in a child so small at 5 months. According to the doctors, he's the 3rd child in the world to have this. My baby's case is very special because the type of chemotherapy and treatments conventionally that they use are very aggressive.
From what I hear, chemo is like pretty much like a nuclear explosion going on in your insides of your body. It kills the cancer, but along with killing the cancer, it kills everything else.
I find out pieces here, pieces there, and then I'm connecting the dots.
If you decide to do chemotherapy, you know, it would be a 2-year process, but they don't tell you what your other option is, and I don't really think there is another option.
The doctors were telling me that I need to start him on it right away. I mean, they put so much urgency on it. He says it's gonna do some harm, and I said, some harm? He says, well, it's gonna do a lot of harm, you're right. And they said that he would probably have urinary problems, kidney problems, brain damage. And they couldn't guarantee me anything. I mean, it pretty much true. You had to sign his life away.
And that just sounds like something I don't want to put my son through. But if that's what we have to do and that's what it's going to take, then that's what we'll do. But that's definitely not what we want to do. But I don't know if there's another option.
À tantôt. Là, t'as mal encore?
Ben, ouais. Ouais, encore.
T'as mal en faisant tout le temps ou en faisant certaines choses?
Presque tout le temps, là. Ça me fait beaucoup mal, là.
Fait que je vais travailler, on va voir tout de suite
Ouais.
si ça s'améliore. Un cancer du sein, triple négatif, grade 3. Aussi, qu'il y a un autre type de cancer dans mon sein, le carcinome lobulaire infiltrant. Là, ça ne s'annonce pas bien. Mon médecin de famille m'a dit « Je veux pas que tu ailles voir ton cancer sur Internet. Promets-le-moi. » J'ai été voir ça sur Internet.
I have a rare form of breast cancer called triple negative breast cancer.
The survival is very, very low. It grows fast.
I've never felt so much fear in my life.
Aggressive chemo, 4 months worth every other week, 3 different drugs, and then 6 weeks of radiation, 5 days a week.
Side effects have been really tough. You can probably see I'm out of breath, anemic again, even post blood transfusion.
Losing the whole piece.
And when it doesn't respond to treatment, you're kind of like screwed.
I've been given 2 to 3 weeks to live because my liver is the size of a basketball.
All the stuff I've been taking, I know this stuff might work for you guys, I don't know, but I tried everything I could do. And then nothing worked. And
so, I would just like to thank everyone for all the support, all the prayer.
Sans vouloir le dire, sans vouloir le penser, mais c'est plus fort que toi quand tu es tout seul dans ta chambre ou la nuit, tu te dis « Oh, je vais peut-être être tout seul avec 4 enfants. »
Non, mais la deuxième fois.
They don't even know what causes cancer. If you ask an oncologist what causes cancer, they'll tell you the sun and cigarette smoking, and then we don't know.
It's not an act of God. It doesn't come from outer space. It's our lifestyle, it's our own stupidity that causes this epidemic. I call it an epidemic of cancer.
According to recent studies, environment and lifestyle play a much greater role in determining whether or not we develop cancer than our genetic makeup. Up to 90% of cancers stem from controllable factors like diet, smoking, and exposure to chemical carcinogens.
If you look at the cancer report that was given to the President of the United States, for the first time, that started to look at the elephant in the room, which is what causes cancer.
Yet only a tiny fraction of funding for cancer research is currently used to investigate the causes of the disease, and efforts to tackle them have been sparse.
And there's Bert.
Yeah, that was my
younger brother.
Yeah.
The baby. You were closest to him, weren't you?
Yep. He was diagnosed with Hodgkin's, and he had to do radiation all through his chest and stuff. I still miss the little shit. I had the surgery. It still was there. Cancer was back, just the same as if it never left. Just same as my brother and same as my sister-in-law. So I was getting my tattoos for the radiation. My brother, he sort of comes to me in like a dream sort of thing. And he says, Fred, what are you doing here? You know this didn't work. It didn't help me and it didn't help Helen. Why are you doing it? It just makes you sicker and sicker, he said. And I thought, there's not going to be any harm in trying something different. You know, it's pretty scary.
They go to the oncologist and they give him the standard therapy. And then they say, what else can I do? And the oncologist says nothing, right? So then they go home and they look in the internet. And then, in most cases, they do more damage to themselves.
You have just been diagnosed with cancer. What are your options?
Imagine a free cancer treatment with virtually no side effects.
Sugar is cancer food.
These people are saying that pot actually cured cancer.
I am totally cancer-free.
At the Oasis of Hope, there is always something we can do for you.
The popularity of alternative treatments is on the rise, and patients are confronted with a confusing cacophony of different claims and sales pitches, both from dubious and more reputable sources. But alternative practitioners are not the only ones competing for customers and for a share of the lucrative market.
What if someone told you that you could be free? Free from worry, free from anxiety, free from cancer.
The shortest path from you have cancer to you had cancer is at Georgia's #1 hospital.
Good morning, cancer. Watch your back. All these people mean you harm.
Listen up. His daughter's getting married soon. Let's make sure he's ready for that.
The University of Maryland Medical Center. Medicine on a mission.
The decision-making process is very nerve-wracking because I was doing a lot of research. I was getting tons of opinions from the natural side and from the conventional side. They're two very conflicting worlds.
The options cancer patients are free to choose from are limited. In the US, doctors are not allowed to prescribe any first-line cancer treatments that have not been approved by the FDA.
At this very minute, someone is falling for a health fraud scam. And by using unproven health products rather than the appropriate treatments, you might miss your window of opportunity to diagnose and treat a serious disease or condition. These products might make you even sicker. They could interfere with your medicines. They could even kill you.
La cosa con mi hijo es que le están sugiriendo 2 años de quimioterapia y yo trataba de ver si había otra alternativa por medios naturales.
I want some numbers, out of 10 kids that were put through this treatment, how many survived, how many went on to live more than 10 years, how many went on to live more than 20 years. And those facts aren't out there as far as any of the holistic approaches, natural approaches.
I probably will ask if I have a choice and do it very carefully so that I don't alarm them, that I'm trying to fight them, so that it gives me some time to make a decision.
Most states assign a caseworker to each minor diagnosed with cancer to make sure that the parents abide by the recommended treatments.
The danger with the caseworker would be that they're not there to help me. They're there to make sure Jeremiah gets his treatment. So yeah, they're saying that I would be a fugitive if I leave my country and take him somewhere else and refuse the treatments here. I mean, I thought about it, like what that would do to our lives and what am I gonna see my family again?
This children's hospital is battling a family's decision to end their 10-year-old daughter's chemotherapy and treat her leukemia with natural remedies instead.
He's on the run, running from court-ordered treatment for his cancer.
When is the state obligated to step in to protect a child from parents who believe that they're doing the right thing?
If need be, they have to take the kid away and strap him down and apply chemotherapy that way.
I have my son's best interest in mind more than the government or a caseworker or anyone like that. You have to explore your options to see what's best for your child instead of just following doctor's orders.
When some patients are told their chance for survival isn't good, some of them head south of the border.
Mexico clinics claiming miracle cures have made a fortune off desperate U.S. patients.
While there's little doubt that some alternative practitioners profit from the lack of legal oversight in Mexico to sell implausible and expensive treatments to desperate patients, the question remains whether all alternative cancer treatments should be categorically swept under the same rug. One of the oldest and most popular alternative treatments on offer here was developed by a German doctor in the 1930s and has been shrouded in controversy ever since. What makes this therapy different from other treatments is that it attempts to cure cancer not by targeting cancer cells, but by boosting the body's own immune system.
Max Gerson was one of the original immunologists. With immunotherapy, these are durable, permanent remissions because they were endogenous. They came from inside the body. It was the body working out its own fix.
The Gerson therapy, it's an overfeeding, a hyperalimentation with nutritious food. And one of the most substantial things that Gerson found is that you can actually improve the immune system by overfeeding the body with nutritious substances only.
Nutritional therapy. You are what you eat.
If you look at modern medicine practice, it is not heavily influenced by nutrition. Medicine is still a drug-oriented practice. We don't have diet interventions that are first-line interventions. And so for us to think, okay, someone's got lung cancer, so a diet is going to really meaningfully change their lung cancer? It doesn't seem likely.
J'ai entendu parler de Gerson et pendant 3 jours et 3 nuits, j'ai lu là-dessus sur Internet, j'ai lu les recherches, j'ai regardé, puis une porte commençait à s'ouvrir. Juste avant de décider ça, c'était très difficile parce que là, j'allais, 1, faire quelque chose que je n'étais même pas sûre, puis 2, confronter tout le monde, aller contre l'opinion de tout le monde, surtout Alain. Un jour, je regardais Myriam. Je voulais pas qu'elle vieillisse sans moi.
You're wondering all the time, should I be doing this? Should I be going their way? Should I do this? When they told me I only had a 30% chance, even if I did all the radiation and the chemo and the other drugs that they wanted to put me on, I just said to hell that I'm not going to go that way if all I got's a 30% chance.
I remember walking through the halls one day of Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, and I saw a child that had the IV, was receiving the chemo. He had no hair, his eyelids were just hanging, and his eyes were just bloodshot red. And when I saw that, it brought me to tears. And I said, Jeremiah can't go through that. He's not gonna go through that.
Hopefully it's the right decision. We're gonna do whatever it takes to follow through with it.
So I did have people saying, do you know what you're doing? You have 2 children, you need to do the right thing, and I know I'm doing the right thing.
There are no official facts or statistics on nutritional cancer treatments like the Gerson therapy, and little is known about what really happens to people who choose to go down this route. That's why we decided to follow these patients' stories all the way up to the 5-year mark, the point at which cancer patients are statistically considered survivors. We set out to record their experiences, no matter what the outcome.
We've been at the Gerson Clinic now for approximately 4 days. The food, we've gotten used to it.
For your juices and stuff, if you're not in your room, they're gonna find you. No matter where you try to hide to get away from your juices, you're gonna get it. This clay pack.
Okay, let's get this on.
Sometimes women will go to any length
To kiss him.
for cuddling.
What I have to go through to snuggle up is unbelievable, isn't it?
I did feel a little anxious just because I wasn't completely aware of what I was going into. I'd researched a lot, I'd watched all the videos, read all the books, but it's nothing like going into it firsthand and really understanding what's going to happen.
C'était tellement une libération, tellement de quitter le couloir de la mort pour arriver à Gerson, à la clinique, le couloir de la vie. On dansait le soir sur la chanson de Céline Dion, là, I'm alive. Et ça voulait dire quelque chose. On pleurait, on riait.
Gerson therapy is definitely not a quick fix, and it's not an easy fix. It requires a very strict commitment, and it lasts a minimum of 2 years. The therapy consists of a plant-based diet that floods the body with gargantuan amounts of organic vegetables, fruit and roots every day, and 13 vegetable juices prepared fresh every hour. That supports the regeneration of vital organs and activates the immune system. The diet is low in protein, with no oil or fat except for flaxseed oil. No coffee, tea or alcohol. Salt, sugar and processed foods of any kind are strictly forbidden. No meat, fish or wheat products. During the whole treatment, Gerson patients are required to avoid all forms of chemical exposure, from household products, pesticides, cosmetics and even from showering in fluoridated tap water. The treatment also includes regular castor oil and coffee enemas to support the liver, an individually optimized thyroid therapy, and nutritional supplements to improve cellular metabolism.
Wanting to do an enema at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's not my idea of fun. But it's just how I'm going to have to be for the next 2 years. So I just need to learn to accept whatever it is, because it's going to make me better.
Okay, folks, I'm going to take my little friend here. I'm going to show you how I do coffee enema. First, I pour so much coffee. Coffee's hot. Whoop. Okay, I'll be back. I gotta put. Okay. Now I'm ready. And then we want you to hold it for 10 to 12 minutes. Now that's the fun part, okay? It's holding, because you really grit your teeth sometimes.
Yesterday was okay, but the couple of days before that were pretty rough. I had what they call a flare-up, and it's toxins leaving the body really, really quickly.
Right, I think at the height of her flare-up, and that was when, with very well-chosen words that I will not use here, she told me that I should leave the premises.
When I had the flare-up, I didn't want anything to do with anybody, whether that was the medical staff or the people bringing me juices or any of the patients or Robert. It's brought our relationship to a new level of intimacy on lots of different levels.
Jeremiah. Instead of chemo, we decided to do natural medicine. We flew to Chile, Santiago. It's a natural treatment center. As soon as he got to the clinic, the first thing that they changed was his diet. They started giving him only vegetables, and they took the formula that he was drinking away. And as soon as they took the formula away, he just saw a significant difference in his metabolism. He started going to the restroom 4 times a day. Normally he would just go once. So that was a big change. This place is very poor. Any place that is focusing on natural medicine has very limited resources. It's not something that an insurance company will cover. and you deal with it. Sometimes, you know, the warm water runs out and you just deal with it. It's because you know why you're going there, the cause.
Good morning, Fred.
Morning, sweetie.
Our last day here today.
It's gonna be good to get home. Oh, FBI's at the door. Oh, my favorite one.
Ah, my favorite, our lovely nurse. Ah, we got you on film. Oh, there's our pills for the day. Oh, here goes the needle. I'll be jabbing you when we get home, darling. Don't worry. It's all downhill from there.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Waste stuff only. This is PG. Because I think we'll take a lot of your drugs home when we're taking injections.
Drugs.
Not
You got
drugs. Your supplements.
She's hauling back suitcases of drugs. You all heard it, right?
Alors, il y en a du potassium, il y en a. J'ai l'air d'une junkie. Ah, c'est ça. Ça, c'est mon thyroïde. Et voilà. On espère qu'on va se revoir dans 2 ans. J'espère qu'on va vraiment se revoir dans 2 ans. Manger un gâteau au chocolat.
Schöne Zeit zusammen, gell?
Brustkrebs, Grad 3, happige Chemotherapie, volle Bestrahlung, volle Zeit, Hormontherapie, das hat mich schon umgehauen. Hätten die nur ein Teil mir empfohlen, ich hätte mich eher rumwickeln lassen. Aber dass die gerade mit dem vollen Paket, das hat mich, ich glaube, da ist meine innere Kraft, hat dann gesagt, nein, nein, so nicht.
Europe has a long tradition of nutritional and fasting therapies. At the Gerson Clinic in Hungary, cancer patients are treated under close medical supervision and are prepared for the ensuing years of treatment at home. Unlike the US, European doctors and patients are free to choose any treatment for cancer.
Man weiß ja nie, ist das wirklich am Ende richtig oder das andere. Aber wir haben uns für das Gerson entschieden, weil es für uns logisch war. Das Logischere. Und ich will es volle Kraft, ich weiß, was ich zu tun habe.
Et au mois de mars, on m'a annoncé que j'avais un lymphome. Tous les docteurs m'ont dit, mais le lymphome, c'est pas grave, ça se soigne très très bien. 85% de réussite avec la chimiothérapie, vous allez voir. Et donc, ils m'ont dit, après les 6 séances, ça y est, vous êtes en rémission, c'est bon, il n'y a plus de lymphome. Et nous, on a fêté ça, on était tellement contents, on s'est déjà débarrassé de cette histoire. Et puis, 4 mois après, je sentais une douleur là sur le rein. Je dis, bon, c'est reparti. Je retournais voir le cancérologue. Il m'a dit, ce cancer ne se guérit pas, le lymphome ne se guérit pas, on peut le soigner. C'est-à-dire que chaque fois que vous rechutez, il y a une chimio qui peut éliminer, mais il reviendra toujours. C'est un cancer récidivant, et donc je ne vous guérirai pas. Et là, j'ai dit, bon, ça va pas, quoi. Je ne peux pas me contenter de me faire soigner tous les ans avec une chimio sans espoir d'être guérie. C'est pas possible, quoi. Et du coup, je me suis dit, je vais tester autre chose que la médecine allopathique.
Yeah, I think that this whole notion that the patient comes to the doctor and the doctor's job is to fix it, no matter what. That day is over. The doctor can be in partnership with the patient to help fix it, but you still need to make certain that you can do everything you can by providing your body with the nutritional sources that it needs to heal itself.
So when you're stuck with this terrifying diagnosis, having the ability to control what you put into your body is an element that empowers people. And so I found in my research that most people started with the diet.
How many
When they make this radical lifestyle change in terms of their diet, they're not just doing it for 1 week. They go through a process of really learning how to live this new life. Suddenly their fridge is bursting with produce and their cupboards are suddenly empty, right? There's no more packaged anything in their life. So they have to go through this learning process of how to cook these vegetables and how to manage all this produce.
This is just a week worth of vegetables. Because when I first saw the list, I thought, no way. I think it was about a week into it, I went down to the basement, I sat on the floor, and I actually cried because I was so overwhelmed with all the work and I didn't have a routine yet. I thought, how am I going to do this? Fred needs me to do this or he won't get well. This isn't a week or 2 weeks. This is a 2-year program. It's not for everyone. I'll be honest, I don't know too many people that could probably do this.
Ça va très bien, c'est juste pour savoir si tout est... Ouais. Vous avez commencé votre chimiothérapie?
Moi, j'en fais pas.
Non?
Non, c'est un traitement différent que je fais. C'est un traitement par la nourriture.
Ah oui?
Oui, mais au Canada puis aux États-Unis, c'est interdit de traiter par la nourriture.
Pour quelle raison? Bonne question.
Le plus difficile, c'est en revenant ici, c'est vraiment un choc. C'était si dur parce que c'est l'adaptation, le montrer à tout le monde qu'est-ce qu'on a appris, voir le reste de la nourriture. Puis la perspective qu'on va vivre ça encore 720, 730 jours, c'est 2 ans.
Some of the food she makes is good. I have to argue about most of it though.
I love meat. Gotta admit.
I've heard that it's cancer easily, well, not easily, but it's curable. Yeah, I just wasn't so sure about the methods she was taking because they weren't proven. Well, yeah, they were proven, but they were they weren't exactly popular.
I think they were having a really hard time just because of what their father had told them, that he wasn't very enthusiastic about what I was doing and was telling the kids that it wasn't going to work. And so I've had to really swing it the other way. They're pretty supportive with helping me with juices, and I keep telling them I'm not going to die, that I'm going to be just fine, for them not to worry. And now they say, yeah, I know. So I think they're doing all right.
Les 2 premiers mois de la thérapie, je voulais divorcer. J'étais devenue exécrable. Vraiment, j'ai détoxiqué à fond, c'était horrible. Le pauvre Marc, il a été très patient et très gentil parce que franchement, j'ai été odieuse. Je hurlais sur lui, je lui disais qu'il ne comprenait rien et que je me demandais pourquoi je voulais continuer à me soigner alors que la vie ne valait pas le coup. Avec 2 feuilles, tu fais un jus, 2 feuilles et une pomme. C'était fabuleux de penser que ça, c'était en train de me soigner, de me guérir.
I'm Charlotte Gerson. I'm the youngest daughter of Dr. Max Gerson. My father was terribly ill with migraines, so he read all the scientific papers he could find. Finally, he found one notation of a lady who changed her diet and got improvement. Diet? He'd never heard anything of diet. Not in medical school. Diet was for cooks in the kitchen. Doctors were above that. But he wasn't beyond trying.
And so he developed a self-administered elimination diet. But instead of eliminating one thing at a time, he added one thing at a time. So for a while, he ate nothing but dairy products to see if that would help. Migraines continued unabated. And so he started adding fruits and vegetables to his diet one at a time and found that they did not give him migraines. So that's how he first discovered his migraine diet.
The patient said, Dr. Gerson, if I don't cheat, I'm free of migraines. Until one patient also came back and said, yes, Dr. Gerson, my migraines are gone, but I also had skin tuberculosis. That healed too. My father was shocked. He was trained like any other doctor, diagnose and treat the symptoms. He couldn't figure the connection between migraines and tuberculosis. And that's when he was beginning to understand that he was no longer treating a disease or curing a disease.
From then on, he diverged from conventional medicine by treating the immune system with diet rather than treating symptoms with drugs.
At the time, tuberculosis was considered an incurable and lethal disease. Rumors that Gerson was achieving complete cures led Dr. Sauerbruch, Europe's foremost tuberculosis specialist, to conduct a large clinical trial of Gerson's therapy at the University of Munich.
He treated 450 people. They were so sick that Professor Sauerbruch said that if he treats only one of them successfully, then he believes in the therapy, and he treated 446 out of 450.
The study was widely publicized in the medical literature, and the Gerson-Sauerbruch diet, as it was referred to from then on, became well known overnight. Dr. Gerson soon treated patients from across Europe, including celebrities like Marlene Dietrich and Dr. Albert Schweitzer. One day, an elderly lady asked him to try using his famous diet to treat her cancer. To Gerson's astonishment, her cancer regressed. From then on, his entire focus shifted to treating the most feared of all diseases, and his therapy became the world's first nutritional cancer treatment.
How's it taste, Federico?
Good.
When we told them that Fred was going to take the radiation, they said, well,
Next
the
step.
next step's palliative care. Now, does Fred look like he's ready for palliative care?
Yes, I need some care.
And that was, what, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Wow. You probably,
Yeah.
I guess in his terms, then you've kicked the bucket.
Maybe.
I just got the results back of the full body scan, and it just says there are no appreciable thermal changes seen in the routine follow-up study. It just means that it's still the fucking same. It says that it's remaining stable, which is good. I mean, it could be a lot worse. It could be getting worse, but it's remaining stable. No, I don't feel like giving up. I feel like smashing something.
I had a breakdown. I didn't know if what we were doing was the right choice. I was beginning to, I don't want to say not believe, but just, I was beginning to get discouraged.
The lesions, he had one right on the center of his chest. It was probably about that size, the size of your fingertip. Then it became one big one, and then it kind of separated.
And I told the doctor, I want you to take a look at this. I said, look at the lesion on his buttocks. The skin looks like it's kind of like indented. It seems like now the cancer is eating away his skin. And she said, that's actually not getting worse. That's good results. The cancer in this area has completely left.
Is the patient following the recommended treatment program? And in our eyes, yes, you are following the recommended treatment program, Gerson. But in their eyes, it's going to be no, because the recommended treatment program is radiation.
You pay this for 30, 40 years, and now all of a sudden when you want to claim, oh, well, you got to do this. If you don't do this, you don't do that. There was no mention of what to do in that when you're taking it out. I have a right on what doctor I see, what treatment I use. That is my right. You can't do this, you can't do that. You got to do this, you got to do that. They don't have a cure. So why don't they just go and stick their head up their ass and fight for air like they should have been doing for years? Pissing me off.
Last time I saw you was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, about a year now.
Yeah, I went to a clinic in Mexico, Gerson therapy he's on,
Right.
which is 13 vegetable juices a day and total vegan diet. And
Right.
his PSA actually dropped 2 months ago, 0.6, first time it ever dropped. The rest of his blood work looked
The rest of
okay?
your tests are good, actually. I mean,
Oh, good.
nothing untoward. Everything was good. So as long as it stays where it is, it's good.
I could live to be as old as you.
Almost. We get past that.
Thanks, Dr.
Okay,
Kuja.
take care.
Thanks so
See you
much
later.
for everything. Eh?
Okay, bye-bye.
We'll see you again soon.
(103), Vorwert 1,75. Also, da steht die erste Zeile.
Ja, aber wie muss man das jetzt? Ist das jetzt
Ja,
normal, gut oder was ist das?
Völlig im Normalbereich, also schulmedizinisch ist das absolute Perfektion.
Es ist gut, dass es ab und zu, dass ich da bin.
I don't encourage patients to actually stop the monitoring of their condition or stop seeing their specialist, because I like to make sure that we're going in the right direction. Now, when the specialist knows that, they will often say, well, okay, there is this time frame. You have 6 months, and let's see how far you go in that 6 months, which means you're not breaking the relationship. I don't think that patients can afford to break their relationships with any medical professionals that could help them, because we need all of them.
Après 8 mois de thérapie, on se sent vraiment sur un élan. Et puis je mets aucune crème. Ah oui, ça c'est drôle. Moi je pensais que là, quand le docteur m'a dit mais pas mettre de crème, je disais là, écoute, je vais avoir une peau. Tu peux la toucher, touche ma peau, je te le dis. Ouh! Non mais c'est vrai, elle bouge mais rien. C'est douce.
L'éridiface, c'est comme si on avait fait un lifting. Ça fait rire plein de gens, mais tout le monde me dit que j'ai rajeuni. Et je le vois. Ici, j'ai 51 ans. Je commençais à avoir déjà pas mal de petites... Il n'y a plus rien. La cellulite terminée. J'ai retrouvé une ligne que je n'avais pas connue depuis 20 ans.
Your lab work looks so good that I give you a huge congratulations and a hug. Mon médecin de famille, elle voulait pas que j'aille à Gerson. Et là, depuis que je suis revenue, puis elle voit que mes tests sanguins, les résultats de mes tests sanguins, elle trouve ça très intéressant.
One reason why so few medical doctors today have heard of the Gerson therapy is that in Germany, Hitler's rise to power put a premature end to Max Gerson's mounting career. The growing wave of fascism forced the Jewish doctor to flee, first to Austria, then to France, then England, before finally boarding a ship to safety in America. His wife and children accompanied him, but the family members that remained behind, including all 7 of Gerson's siblings, were killed by the Nazis. Gerson eventually settled in New York City and opened a medical practice on Park Avenue. To Gerson's chagrin, a number of his early patients suddenly died, not from cancer, but from liver failure. Gerson suspected that the toxic byproducts produced by the rapidly disintegrating tumors had overburdened his patients' livers. Having read about the use of coffee enemas on wounded soldiers in World War I, he experimented with them and soon concluded that they protected his patients' livers by speeding up the process of detoxification.
The coffee enema stimulates the liver pathways and it quickly allows that pathway to clear the toxins from the liver.
Scientifically, we know that the materials of the coffee enema that are active are the palmitic acid salts. But I think Gerson approached them clinically. They relieved pain and the symptoms that his cancer patients had.
Could I buy some organic Cameroon?
Auto drip, right? Or you want coarse? How do you make your coffee? Percolated?
As fine as you can get it.
At first, I was very skeptical, but now it's no big deal. I look forward to them now. I feel good afterwards.
This was a man that I thought, oh my God, how am I going to get him to Mexico? How am I going to get him there to know he has to do enemas? Because I said he only had to do 3 a week. I knew really.
Put it off though.
And now he does an extra one. I can't believe it.
And
I just can't really.
Finally, she corralled me down there, and she's upstairs. So she made me go upstairs. Enema time, she said. All my life I've been a bit of a rebel, I guess. So I'm anxious to see if this way is the better way, because I got a couple of doctors that I want to go back and give my opinion to.
Since we changed his diet, he has never had a bad reading yet.
Even the doctor's amazed. When they see me, they can't believe how I look. Of all the medication and stuff that I used to be on before, all the blood pressure pills and cholesterol pills, pill for this, pill for that. And now I'm not on nothing, just the Gerson stuff.
Oh, but can you imagine? He was on all that medicine for all those years, and all he had to do was change his diet.
I could have bought a nice boat with all the money I spent sending my money to the drug companies. So if you got any money, invest in the drug companies.
Je suis arrivée au scanner et là, le radiologue, j'étais comme ça, hein, dans la salle d'attente. Et là, le radiologue m'appelle avec un sourire comme ça. Je dis bon. Et il me dit, je ne croyais pas au miracle, maintenant j'y crois. Oh, alors là, j'ai su que c'était bon. Il me dit, je ne sais pas ce que vous avez fait, mais il vous reste un ganglion comme ça, alors qu'il était comme un œuf. Le ganglion est ressorti du rein, puisqu'il est devenu tout petit. Tu vois, le rein a repris sa forme, et le ganglion s'est mis loin du rein. Et là, je suis sortie de là. Waouh! Vive Gerson! Merci, monsieur Gerson, que vous m'entendez. C'était trop, trop chouette. Et on a fait la fête le soir. J'ai appelé toutes mes copines dans la foulée. J'ai envoyé des textos. Ça marche, Gerson. Oh, c'était la fête. Non, mais tout le monde en larmes, tout le monde pleurait de joie. Foulée, c'est incroyable.
When you are really frightened because you had a bad diagnosis, you say you'll do absolutely everything and anything to get well. And then you start on, well, if you like, on Gerson. And in the beginning, you immediately have good results. Not that you are recovered, but little things improve. So you are delighted. And then as the months pass, you think that you are okay. Of course, you are not.
On va faire des frites sans matière grasse. Enfin, il y en a un petit peu.
Mais tu en manges, toi, finalement, non?
J'ai un peu triché des fois quand j'ai fait ça parce qu'il y a une cuillère à soupe d'huile pour 1 kilo de frites. Alors des fois, je picore 3 frites parce que je me dis, bon, je suis guérie, moi. Hein.
This is the biggest difficulty I have with patients, to explain to them that this is not symptomatic treatment. The fact that the tumor becomes smaller or that their general condition improves enormously and their color is better and they sleep well and they eat well and hurrah, that doesn't mean that they are cured.
Doing any kind of intense therapy like this is so stressful on a relationship. Robert, he's not doing juicing. He's not helping me cook. It's really difficult to keep doing it on your own. Not everybody can support you in the way that you need them to.
The patient, if they've got the support of their family, tend to do much better. If the patient doesn't have the support of the family, then there can be friction.
They go home and it's far too much trouble. Or the family says, no, we can't bear this. It breaks up my marriage if you are doing Gerson, etc. You know, it's strange. Dying also breaks up a marriage, but there we are.
On n'a pas pris soin de notre couple. On a fait attention aux enfants, à la diète, à moi. Je suis rendue précieuse. On est devenus comme une équipe et moins un couple. On va arranger ça, mais c'est douloureux. Je sais que c'est l'amour de ma vie, mais là, présentement, je le ressens pas. Ça fait drôle, pour la première fois, de ne pas ressentir ça. Mais j'ai confiance que ça va revenir.
Quand tu vis des choses difficiles ensemble, je pense que ça ne peut pas faire autrement. Puis je regarde Marie-Josée pas parce que j'ai eu peur de la perdre, mais je l'aime encore plus. Puis je suis en admiration devant elle à cause de toute la lutte qu'elle fait.
It's the relentless routine of being chained to the juicer 12 hours of the day. If patients can afford to have someone come in for a few hours of the day in the morning to do all the food preparation and to get the stuff ready to put through the juicer, that helps enormously. But for the patient, the relentlessness is that they feel they can't even go on holiday, they can't have a day off, so it's like a full-time job.
I had to definitely put my career on hold to give him this kind of treatment. Get up on your seat. I see a lot of mothers pop open a little jar of Gerber or dump in a little powder and make the milk on the spot. It's just not that easy for me. More tomato. No, ya tiene cebolla. Ahí está la cebolla. He likes onions a lot. It's good. We have to give this a chance. They told us that it was going to be 3 years. So just like any child would go into a regimen of 3 years of chemo, they don't guarantee that it's going to be gone after a year. You silly guy. You're happy, huh? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder. You gonna take a break? Break. You gotta come back and drink some more, okay?
No.
Time out. Sit in time out.
No.
Yes. Sit in time out.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Mama. No.
Okay, drink it then. Drink it. Drink it. Drink it. Drink it. No, 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 no. Drink some.
Mickey.
You want to see Mickey?
It's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Daisy's Pet Project.
J'arrive pas, les flocons, franchement, j'y arrive pas. C'est pas possible. J'ai essayé, je ne peux pas. Et je sais que ça fait partie de la thérapie, mais franchement, je peux pas. Il y a plein de protéines dans les bananes aussi.
Every now and then a patient writes saying, is it okay if I add whatever or don't do something? No, it's not okay, because this is a system built by Dr. Gerson, who not for nothing was he German. I mean, once he organized something that was cast iron. And every bit of the therapy hangs together with the other bits, and they balance each other. So pull out one bit, you distort the whole pattern.
They absolutely need to do the protocol in its entirety. If they're not compliant with the Gerson therapy, then they're not doing the Gerson therapy.
Das Schrecklichste für mich ist einfach, dass mir in dieser Kurs so ans Haus gebunden ist. Und jetzt haben wir einen Weg gefunden, wie wir trotzdem Tagesausflüge machen können. Das ist wirklich jetzt möglich mit unserem Auto. Wir nennen es unser Gerson-Mobil. Ich kann halt alle 13 Säfte machen. Wir können spazieren gehen. Ja, für unsere Beziehung ist das auch so schön. Ein bisschen Normalität haben und je nach Wetter einfach wirklich auch länger draußen sein zu können, als nur wieder nach 3-4 Stunden bei der Saftmaschine zu stehen im Haus. Wie ich bei der ersten Jahreskontrolle nach Hause kam und sagte, yeah, alles gut, hat Ottmar wirklich gesagt, ja komm, und jetzt erst recht, jetzt drauf los. Und das hat mir so eine Kraft gegeben. So, jetzt. Ich habe mich halt entschieden, dass ich das nicht dem breiten Freundeskreis sage. Was bringt uns das, wenn das alle Leute wissen? Ich nehme in Kauf, wenn ich das den Leuten sage, dass sie mit mir Bedauern haben oder dass einige mir vielleicht auch Angst machen. Und wenn ich von all dem verschont sein muss, dann wähle ich halt einen anderen Weg und das habe ich gemacht. Wenn ich Therapie fertig habe, wenn ich selber an mir zeigen kann, doch, das ist ein wirklich guter Weg, dann will ich das schon. Das ist dann kein Geheimnis mehr, das ist schon so.
I used to have a lot of friends. A lot of people used to come around my house and stuff like that. And now, nobody comes. So when they find out you got cancer, I don't know. I guess they think you got the plague or something, right? Everybody just seems to screw it away. Unless they have a problem, then they'll phone me. Yeah.
I don't know, we all have busy lives, but I know if it was my friend or family member that had cancer, I would at least attempt to come over at least once a week, if not call every day. You don't get that. People just kind of avoid you. And I think it really hurts Fred because he's always been there for everyone. So I think it makes him feel like people don't care because you're fighting for your life right now. This is the time when you need everyone to be encouraging you. That's it for another day. And making you feel that you're loved, you know, and I found the opposite.
Yeah, it's going into me, not you.
Okay, let's jab you.
Where are we going? Over here? Yeah? Oh, it's very expensive. Just the food alone is $200 a week for the organic food and vegetables and stuff. And then the supplements, it's probably another $100 a week or so. There's no help. Like the government doesn't help you. They don't really give a shit whether you sink or swim.
We're about $60,000 in debt now from the beginning of when Fred was diagnosed with cancer. It cost us about $15,000 to go to the Gerson, and I started a new job, one that I was hoping that would really help Fred and I. And now I've been let go from this job 2 days ago, and it's scary.
The financial piece is something we need to figure out because your insurance will pay for the $100,000 pop chemotherapy, but it won't give you a check to go buy $200 worth of organic groceries. And that's a problem because if this stuff can help people heal, then we need to start figuring out how we can help people pay for that as opposed to paying for just really, really expensive drugs.
But Gerson patients are not the only ones facing financial problems. The exponential rise of conventional cancer treatment costs is threatening to bankrupt both patients and entire healthcare systems. Each year, cancer costs the world more money than any other disease. Today, the price for one additional year of a cancer patient's life has surpassed the astronomical sum of $200,000. In the US, a third of all cancer survivors suffer from debt or bankruptcy as a side effect of their illness.
It hadn't grown in a whole year. I mean, for the first year, it was absolutely stable where it was, and then I wasn't able to keep up with the Gerson therapy very much at all. I mean, juicing was an impossibility. The biggest hurdle is financial. Before I started Gerson therapy, I was making a fairly good living. I had an employee and had a health food store. I was teaching yoga classes. My only income at this present time is from massage work once a day. But there are some days I don't feel very well and I don't work. I mean, there are people that have sent me checks in the mail. People will drop off bags of food for me or go and buy groceries for me. I'm surviving on a wing and a prayer. As insane as that may seem, no, I wouldn't ever consider doing chemotherapy. That still makes no sense at all. From what I've read, there's still 40,000 women die of breast cancer every year. And that's doing conventional medicine. That's a hell of a lot of women every year, 40,000 women.
Okay. Get ready. One more? One more, breathe. They see him when we go to family gatherings, and it's a real eye-opener to them. They think Jeremiah's like a miracle because they can't get their kids to eat vegetables, and that's how Jeremiah eats. And even when we go to birthday parties, when the kids are eating cake, they have the kids go into another room to eat their cake, so that way Jeremiah won't want some. And even when he does see them enjoying something he can't have, I think, you know, in his own little mind, he's starting to figure it out that there's certain foods that he's just not going to have. And he's okay with it. He doesn't cry about it. He just walks away. We hope to continue with the same treatment until he's 4 or 5 years old. The longer the better. It's definitely going to get harder once he starts going to school because we won't be there. We're going to send him to school with his lunch, but then he's going to see the other kids eating hamburgers, chicken sandwiches, and milk, and I'm sure he's going to want some.
Un matin, je me suis levée et je suis arrivée en bas. J'ai dit à Marc, je crois qu'il faut que tu m'amènes à l'hôpital, je vais mourir aujourd'hui. Je vais pas me laisser, tu vois. Et ça y est, ça va, je suis chaud maintenant.
Oui, je sais. Donc.
Je pensais vraiment que j'allais pas m'en sortir. J'ai pas mangé ce qu'il fallait, je me suis pas... En fait, on s'est rendu compte que chacun fait un peu garçonne à sa façon et que je fais pas bien garçonne. Et aucune personne vers qui me tourner pour dire qu'est-ce qui se passe, je maigris, ça va pas. Si j'avais eu quelqu'un en France pour me dire mais il faut manger tous les jours des gruaux d'avoine, il faut manger tous les jours des pommes de terre, peut-être je serais pas arrivée dans cet état-là.
J'ai appris qu'une avec qui j'étais amie pendant que j'étais au Mexique est décédée. Elle avait un cancer du côlon grade 4 avec métastase, mais moi, je pensais que ça allait bien aller quand même. Ça m'a fait de la peine d'entendre qu'elle était décédée. Ça a été un choc.
The house went into foreclosure, and I came to Georgia and stayed with my Auntie Tricia. I've lost my profession. Oh, I'm in a custody battle for my children at the moment, which is absolutely insane. Having a child custody battle, my father dying, and a major car wreck, all within like a year. It's a little much for most people to take. And then I'm trying to get well. The stress just pushed it really quickly and got it to grow again. I think it was stage 3.
And I still don't think I'm going to die. It's crazy. Still doesn't feel like, I feel so good. Physically, I'm stronger than I have been. But medically, if you look at what's happening with my body, it doesn't look good.
Vor 2-3 Wochen war es ganz schön schwierig. Ein bisschen ein Abtaucher.
Ich glaube, die Gewissheit, dass es funktioniert, die hat man sowieso nicht. Es kann einem niemand die Garantie geben. Ob man den konventionellen Weg geht oder den anderen, ich glaube, man weiß es am Ende.
Ja. Eigentlich ist das so hart und es geht mir eigentlich wirklich nicht gut. Dann denke ich, also das können gar nicht viele Leute wirklich machen. Das ist so hart und das ist so schwierig. Aber wenn man den Mut hat und anfängt und dann erst merkt, wie gut einem das tut und man steckt drin und man fühlt sich so gut, dann gibt man nicht auf.
After initial setbacks, Max Gerson integrated detoxification methods to his cancer diet and soon appeared to achieve a number of spectacular remissions with end-stage cancer patients that had been sent home to die by major New York hospitals. At the same time, U.S. Senators Claude Pepper and Matthew Neely were proposing an ambitious bill to fund cancer research on novel treatments. To find the most promising approaches being used at the time, they sent investigators around the country.
A bill is before Congress, the Pepper-Neely bill, to appropriate $100 million for cancer research under federal control.
The investigators reported that the most promising cancer treatment they found was that of a German doctor in New York City.
A refugee scientist, now a resident of New York, Dr. Max Gerson. And Dr. Gerson placed on the stand in quick succession 5 patients.
His presentation made the national news.
This new approach to the cancer problem is of fundamental importance because it is the first promising method which treats cancer as a systemic disease, that is, a disease of the abnormal chemistry of the whole body.
The Pepper-Neely bill was narrowly defeated by the vote of 4 senators. The result was that there would be no funding for scientific research on pioneering cancer treatments like Gerson's. The American Medical Association did not look favorably upon Gerson's unorthodox methods, and his repeated pleas for his treatment to be scientifically tested remained unanswered.
They slandered him. They did everything they could to pretend that he was a quack or a charlatan or anything else.
But Gerson was undeterred and continued treating cancer patients until the end of his life. In the 20 years he practiced in the US, 4 investigations of Gerson's practice were undertaken by medical authorities. None of them found any medical wrongdoing or misrepresentation of the success of his cases. To this day, the Gerson therapy for cancer has never been tested in a large-scale study.
Aujourd'hui, on va faire le contrôle, le scanner qui va me confirmer que je suis guérie. Tu vois, je suis optimiste. Hein. Normalement, aujourd'hui, la thérapie est terminée. La métrance. Donc, à partir d'aujourd'hui, je reprends une vie normale, si tout est OK. T'es stressée, toi?
Sans plus. De toute façon, qu'est-ce que tu veux? C'est sûr qu'on se questionne un petit peu. Mais qu'est-ce que tu veux faire? J'espère de tout cœur que oui. Et sinon. Hein? Qu'est-ce que tu peux faire? De toute façon, tu continues, hein? Tu vas être plus strict si jamais.
Plus strict que là?
Bon, mais écoute, ne vois pas le pire.
Oui, le plus strict, c'est faire les jus un par un.
Par heure, fini les petits écarts, quels qu'ils soient, fini le gluten, le pain, la farine, les céréales, on est toujours.
Jusque là-bas.
Ich hatte die 2-Jahreskontrolle, alle Bluttests, den Ultraschall. Das war alles eigentlich im besten Bereich. Zu wissen, dass ich jetzt gesund bin, dass ich die 2 Jahre geschafft habe. Wirklich viel Power und fühle mich gut und habe keine Angst mehr. Oh, es ist gut, wieder frei zu sein, wieder Flügel zu haben.
When I was at the Gerson, I told him if I got better, I was going to build a fish hut and I was going to go ice fishing. There's times I was pretty scared, but I made a commitment, so I stuck with it. And I'm thankful now that I did, because otherwise I might have been pushing up daisies with my brother. The doctors keep telling me whatever I'm doing, keep on doing it. Everything seems to be working. Your blood works great. I feel good, I feel healthy. I'm able to do things. That's what it's all about. Quality of life.
We went went back to Children's Hospital in LA to run the same test that had diagnosed him with cancer. And this time the results were different.
Well, the test consisted of a bone marrow test and a bone aspirate. They came out negative for cancer. So the doctors were really amazed. When we got that result, it's weight lifted off of you. It's an accomplishment. I know we still have some time that we need to continue with this, but at least now we have confirmation that we're doing the right thing and that we chose the right path for Jeremiah.
Jeremiah's like a miracle. I've always done whatever doctors tell you to do, so when Tanya recommended doing something different, I was against it. I've always thought that doctors, they recommend what's best for you. I still think they recommend what's best for you. They just need to do a little more research, I think, so they can find out about all the options out there. But, they go by what they're taught, so I don't think you can blame the doctors. I think you just need to, rethink the whole system. It's not really their fault that they don't know about natural medicine because they were never taught. Yeah.
If you define a spontaneous remission as a remission of cancer that's not induced by a known cancer therapy, then these could be defined that way.
I came across my first case, 10 years ago now. And naively, I thought it was the only case. And I thought, this man turned around his stage 4 cancer. He was sent home on hospice. He had done everything his doctors told him. It didn't work, and he was sent home on hospice. And he is alive 20 years later. So we should all know his name. That should have been worldwide headlines. I found that there were over 1,000 documented, verified cases written by the doctors themselves, published in medical journals that were peer-reviewed. So you couldn't deny it. This was a phenomenon. So the doctors don't know why these people are getting well. Why is no one studying this? We're trying to win the war on cancer. We should study those who've won.
I'm right now involved in the write-up of a case of a patient with chronic lymphocytic leukemia who underwent essentially diet changes with some dietary supplements, no chemotherapy, no conventional therapy of any kind, and had a well-documented complete remission. And then someone can read that and it may at least say, well, wow, okay, I would never think that could happen. Well, maybe it's a spontaneous remission. Okay, maybe it is, but read the whole thing and see how likely you think this guy had this disease for 20 years and then these changes were made and then within the space of 6 months he went into complete remission. Was that a spontaneous remission?
The people that I interviewed hate that word. They hate the word spontaneous because they tell me, I worked my tail off to get well. It took me 2 years. There was nothing spontaneous about this. Spontaneous means it has no cause, and it often means that it happens instantly. Well, when I actually did research in depth into how these people got well, that wasn't the case. If you're unable to believe that these huge changes they made to their life had nothing to do with their remission, if that's what you're going to believe, that's what you're going to believe. But, as a researcher, when I see this happening over and over and over again, it's very compelling for me to believe that the things that they are doing with their diet and supplements, that is having a direct impact on their immune system.
Why is this not a topic of research? I think it should be a topic of research. I'd like to promote that it become a topic of research.
The problem is funding. The problem is who's going to pay for this study. You can't patent broccoli. You can't patent reducing stress. So, for-profit companies like pharmaceutical companies, this just doesn't fit into their business model, so they're not going to pay for it.
Come up with the evidence. If you can show that this works, then absolutely it'll be incorporated in the standard of care. It's just a long process, and we didn't want to tell people, oh, wait 15 years until this is FDA approved. So if you're an oncologist but think you're out of options, then this should be considered.
Increasingly, conventional medicine is incorporating a number of nutritional and holistic principles that were considered alternative only a decade ago. Some pioneering hospital chains have already begun offering the option of special nutrition for their cancer patients.
Nutrition plays a crucial role in healing, and there's one farm in Arizona that's doing its part to make sure cancer patients are getting the best food for their condition.
These are people fighting advanced stage cancer, joined by their friends and family. It's a program that the Cancer Treatment Centers of America started at their Arizona facility.
There are no chemicals and pesticides used on it, and no, it's truly the purest, healthiest food that they can possibly eat.
Je suis contente que ça soit fini. Yeah.
Une nouvelle vie qui recommence en pouvant...
Une deuxième chance.
Une deuxième chance de pouvoir être ensemble puis de continuer à être ensemble parce que je ne l'ai jamais exprimé parce que on dirait qu'il faut que tu sois un pilier, il faut que tu sois... Mais j'ai eu peur.
Vraiment, vous êtes les gens qui tous avaient contribué à m'aider dans cette épreuve-là. Je voulais remercier aussi. Ça m'a permis de découvrir à quel point mon mari est merveilleux. Vraiment merveilleux. Non, mais vous ne savez pas à quel point. J'ai des jus à préparer à chaque heure. Ça prend 15 minutes les préparer. Puis toujours quand Alain est à la maison, c'est lui qui prépare mon jus. Il m'en met beaucoup. Oui!
Oui, maman, ça va? Ça va?
Ça va pas. Non, ça va pas. Ça va pas. Parce qu'il a regrossi.
Il a doublé. Il était à 42 sur 24, il est à 47 sur 54.
Plutôt 2010, il faisait combien?
70 sur 45. En fait, il est revenu comme à juin 2010. Il m'a dit reprenez contact avec l'oncologue et refaites une chimio. Je dis bah oui, mais les 2 premières n'ont pas marché. On remet dans les mains de la médecine, là, c'est... Non, j'envisage même pas, quoi. Dans le pire des cas, des rayons, j'accepterais, mais jamais une chimio. Jamais. Fini, ça. Je sais plus. Je sais plus ce qu'il faut faire.
I can fit basically everything that I own just about in my car now. I've just been moving from person's house to person's house and haven't had very much stability for a while. I came to Colorado so that I could use cannabis oil legally and not have to worry about going to prison for doing something that's going to hopefully save my life. This is the cannabis oil that I was donated. It's a very high THC level and it's working. I'm in less pain. It's at stage 4. It's metastasized to my scalp in several places and I'm bald in several places. I have an open wound and it's this big. There are days when I don't feel like talking to anyone. I don't feel like mingling with the rest of the world because it just seems so insane.
J'arrive de chez la cancérologue. Je suis complètement effondrée. Le ganglion a beaucoup grossi. J'ai de nouveaux ganglions dans le ventre. Et elle me dit que c'est très urgent maintenant d'intervenir avec une chimiothérapie. C'est un tsunami tout ce qui m'attend là. Avec 45 kilos et l'état de fatigue dans lequel je suis, je ne sais pas si je vais survivre à ça. Je ne sais pas. C'est catastrophique, quoi. Pour lui comme pour moi, c'est catastrophique. On a fait tout. 30 mois de Gerson pour éviter d'en arriver là. Et pourtant, depuis le mois de janvier, je l'ai bien fait, Gerson. J'ai tout fait comme il fallait. J'y croyais tellement. Je suis terrorisée. Terrorisée à l'idée de me retrouver à l'hôpital, sans ma famille. Et avec des traitements qui peuvent me faire mourir.
Quand on apprend qu'on a le cancer, le plus difficile, c'est la peur qui arrive, la perte de l'insouciance. Vous ne savez pas que vous êtes insouciant, mais quand on perd ça, ça fait très mal. Et grâce au traitement Gerson, j'ai retrouvé l'insouciance. Jamais je pensais retrouver l'insouciance. Ce traitement-là a une beauté d'écologie. Il y a une beauté de naturel. De manger des bonnes choses, ça rend plus heureux aussi notre cerveau. Quand on mange bien, plus heureux, on est moins fatigué, on est moins déprimé. Si c'était reconnu, vous ne pouvez même pas savoir à quel point ça ne changerait pas juste le cancer. C'est incroyable. Je pense que le monde changerait.
Es ist gut gelaufen, ich hatte wahnsinnig viel Glück, ich hatte gute Menschen um mich. Ich habe meine Gesundheit halt als Aufgabe gesehen, mein Tageswerk, mein Monats-, mein Jahreswerk. Und darum bin ich ja auch stolz jetzt drauf. Ich werde immer saften, ich werde immer ab und zu einen Einlauf machen, ich werde immer möglichst salzlos essen. Ich denke schon, das macht Sinn, dass ich halt einiges wirklich ein Leben lang beibehalte. Ich bin so glücklich und privilegiert, dass ich wusste, dass es die Tour gibt. Wenn ich denke, was ich die Kasse gekostet hätte für die Chemotherapie, Bestrahlung und für all das, wenn ich einen Teil davon einsetzen könnte für diese Kur, also dass man wählen könnte, welchen Weg man will.
Food, for me, should be the foundation of any treatment, whether you're going to use immunotherapy, chemotherapy, so that it increases the patient's response to whatever treatments they choose. That should become the fundamental thing, I believe, across all medicines, whether it's alternative, complementary, or conventional.
You really need to use it all to your advantage, put it together and say, you know, this could work.
I think a lot of the cancer problem can be handled from the, well, why are we getting it in the first place, right? Like, let's start eating vegetables again. Let's stop using so many toxins in our daily lives, right? All the plastic, all the fumes, everything.
In the 20s, Gerson talked about the external metabolism of the human being really being our environment. He said, if we intoxicate our environment, then this environment will no longer be able to supply us with well-nourishing foods.
Gerson's revolutionary belief in a strong link between a depleted diet and cancer, his focus on boosting the immune system, and his early condemnation of smoking and other environmental carcinogens earned him intense ridicule from the medical community.
He knew he had something in his hands. He knew because he could see the results. He knew that he could relieve suffering. He could give people back a lifetime. A lifetime.
Upon Gerson's death in 1959, Dr. Albert Schweitzer sent a letter to his widow.
I see in him one of the most eminent geniuses in the history of medicine. He leaves a legacy which commands attention and which will assure him his due place.
Contrary to Schweitzer's prediction, Gerson still hasn't received any recognition for his work. But his principle of treating the immune system rather than targeting cancer cells directly has recently been vindicated by modern immunotherapy.
A potential game changer in cancer treatment. Some doctors hailing it as the biggest breakthrough since chemotherapy.
Immunotherapy, it's called, right? It's this medicine that basically allows your immune system to attack cancer cells.
In other words, you might not have to do chemo.
Right. According to some of the experts we reached out to, this could in fact be practice changing.
The advent of immunotherapy has brought with it an abrupt change in public discourse. The aggressive treatments that have formed the bedrock of our cancer approach for the last century are now being vocally criticized by leading cancer researchers.
For 100+ years, we have been trying to treat cancer either by cutting it out, by irradiating it and killing it, or giving poisons to the body.
We had a system that was built up that really was designed around the pharmaceutical companies, which built the industry on therapies that did not cure patients. They were based on therapies that failed.
While the development of immunotherapies represents a great chance for progress, like all drug-based approaches, they are not free of side effects and are not yet producing the consistent clinical results that many patients hoped for. Perhaps the time has come to rethink the long-standing dismissal of nutritional treatment approaches and finally dedicate some funding to study them. Maybe the time is ripe to take a serious, even-handed look at all approaches and to dare a step outside the box, beyond the focus on drugs and pills, and beyond the blinding pursuit of profit, in order to make much greater strides in the prevention and treatment of cancer in the future.
I think that we've come to a time in America where all Americans, the medical profession, patients, and people that aren't patients just yet, should absolutely insist the truth for what's really causing the disease that we see in America, the role that the foods that we're eating are playing in the creation and the exacerbation of the diseases that we see in America, and should absolutely, on the verge of revolt, think about how we change our system.
Aujourd'hui, je suis en rémission, ça fait 2 ans. Je suis repartie faire 9 cures de chimiothérapie ciblée, associées quand même à un traitement naturopathique en Allemagne. Les deux ensemble font que ça a vraiment super bien fonctionné. Aucun effet secondaire, pas de fatigue, pas de perte de cheveux. Bien sûr, la chimiothérapie, c'est du poison. On a quand même limité les dégâts en faisant le traitement naturopathique. Ça a un peu contré les effets toxiques de la chimio. Ouais, je pense que j'avais pas le choix, il fallait que je passe par là.
fat lady hasn't sang yet. That there's always hope. I have friends that have treated stage 4 breast cancer and given 3 weeks to live and survived using herbs and detox, and they've been here for another 4 years. Anything's possible. Anything is always still possible.
All right, guys, here we go. All right. Woo! Yeah, number 11. Okay.
Okay, let's go. After I was diagnosed with cancer, I felt that these days were gone. I think there's more fish in my bathtub at home than here. After the Gerson, it's like a prisoner getting released from jail. You're out and you're free. Got a new lease on life.
Ready? God is great, God is good. Let us thank Him for our food.
Jeremiah, he's a cancer survivor. No trace of anything, and he's doing really well. I wasn't prepared to give up anything as far as him losing anything, any hearing, any vision, any brain damage, I didn't want to give up anything, any part of him. I was determined to find something different. I feel very proud of him because he has a better diet than anyone that I know. So you see all these children in class eating their little muffins, eating their cakes, their cookies. He doesn't even crave processed food. He loves broccoli, cauliflower, loves potatoes. I really believe with children, it's how you bring them up and what you accustom them to eat as they're growing. And when he eats, he really enjoys his food. I make my version of pancakes, obviously healthy, and he loves those. Nutrition is a way of life. I want to see my son continue to live cancer-free.
Remember everything. Can't remember